very word secrecy is repugnant in a free and open society.
You're in violation of secure communication procedures, Condor.
So we just went ahead and fixed the glitch.
There is no America. There is no democracy.
Our fifth objective, a new world order.
There are no nations. There are no peoples. There are no Russians. There are no Arabs. There are no third worlds. There is no
Vast
West.
right-wing conspiracy.
What do you call it when the assassins accuse the assassin?
A new world order.
Thank you for plugging in to the Stones Unturned podcast.
Well, just a second there, Professor. We fixed the glitch.
I'm your host, Professor Thomas Henry Horan.
He reads everything.
Hello there, you lucky devils. You better bet your bippies he reads everything. Before we get to the news, let's take a look at the website. What's going on there? I haven't looked at it all day, except and the first thing I got to do is upload the most recent copy of tonight's slideshow, so you guys can, if you want to, you can listen to this and you can follow along with the slideshow on the new site. You didn't hear the theme very well. That's okay. This is probably it. Nope, not this. Not this. Not this. Do this. And of course there's news. Now. Here we go. So, click the link in the description of this video, and perhaps I will put it in the chat. Let me say hello. I'm always in a hurry. I always feel like I'm late. Check out the site. It will get better. Its function is there. It's just not pretty. It's like the professor. It's not pretty, but the function is there. And there will be more functions. But let's try the core things. Well, it's free. We get a free trial. And then after that, we got to pay. It's all mine, but we have to pay. You know how that goes. It's like that house you own. Everything I dreamed it would be. So I learned how to do it from scratch and not have to use WordPress. So everything works fabulous. And it's more affordable. So long story short, what you'll probably do is something like maybe a $10 a month subscription or something. And then you'll buy tokens called stones. Or maybe you just have the option like buying, like 10 stones or 25 stones at a time or something. And that pays for all stuff across the site, like watching the really premium videos I cannot put on YouTube. Charging you money, not so much to edit the slide, help me edit the super slides, but if you want to use some of the AI tools to do your own research, then you buy a few tokens for that. They'll be cheap. They'll be cheap. I-47, first in chat. Well, welcome back, Mike. Thank you very much. Mwah. Put that wherever you want it. Hi, Brandy. Hi, Alpine. Brandy and Alpine having a confab. That's awesome. Okay. I just don't want to overlook anybody. Because I don't want to break my streak. Hi, Baby Bull. Hi, Gary. Hi, Angel. Kidney stones. That's not bad. That's not bad. What? See, I lost my train of thought. Let me get tonight's. Okay. So here, okay. Go to the site. You don't need a subscription, but you will need to, log in with your Google. I get no personal data of any kind. What you can do is you can, you have a private file cabinet. You can take your own notes. You can use my site for do your own research. There's not much on there yet. It'll take a few weeks. And then any user, any paid user, right now it's free. You're automatically getting a Lucky Devils subscription, which would probably be $10 a month. while it's free to me, you can play with it for free. And that can help me just double check and recalculate those prices and see how much to charge for the stones. Because the price of that stuff comes down every 6 months, so it's really reasonable. And you'll be able to use all my data for your own research. And I'll be using it to build a model of the blob I've been talking about. Because I've got it up here. The blob is right up here. The blob is right up here. But you'll see it soon. I'm putting the blob out here for you. So if you come here to the website, okay, once you log in, let me sign out, give you the full experience, okay? Stones Unturned, continue with Google. You will pick your account. I shouldn't have shown you all of those. I shouldn't be showing you this. Not that you care. It's just taking up space. Hide bookmarks, bookmarks bar. Say that 3 times. These are not buttons. The paint and chrome will come later. Right now, click on Super Slides. Go to Disappearing UFO Scientists. No, don't go to Disappearing. Well, you can. I've got another slideshow uploaded, but you can't annotate it yet. I got to upload a thing. But you can look at them. See, you can look at the slideshows. It's just a kiosk player, and you can go through. And sometimes you can play the clips, and sometimes you can't. It just depends on what's loaded on there. Okay, and you can flip through these. Now, what we'll do tonight is you can flip through tonight's as soon as I upload it. So I got to upload it. Let me put this back over here. Now, there will be some super premium episodes like the John Bonet stuff I can't put on YouTube. Like I cracked the Madeleine McCann case. I tracked her down. No kidding. And it only took a couple of weeks. As soon as I realized, this is what let me just go right into that for a second. To make a long story short, I thought this was a demotion. But when I got out of the business and started my own business in publishing, I was doing skip trace. Well, the next thing you know, I'm getting these files. I'm tracking down people who obviously tried to fake their own deaths. That's how I learned how to do it. And I began to realize these people are probably on the run from the mob, and I'm probably working for the mob because this is all subcontract off subcontract work. So I'm probably doing this shit for the mob. My point was, Craig Glassman faked his own death. Michael Carr, John Carr faked their deaths. I know exactly how this is done. So when I talk about these people, these fake deaths, I have a pretty good idea what I'm talking about. And I'm smelling things. I'm sensing tingles. Okay, my instincts, my trained instincts are coming into play. And in just 1 second, I'm going to remember my train of thought. People faking their own deaths. Jimmy Hoffa. He's probably dead now. Jimmy Hoffa, Witness Protection Program. Well, very few people. See, it's against the law. And the government cannot break its own laws, and they don't. They get other people to break the law for them. Nobody ever asked me to break the law, but what I'm saying is, I stated, I didn't get into that. So, let me polish my halo. But my point is, people faking their own deaths. I know how this is done. Well, it's a lot harder to do now, thanks to the internet. And I completely lost my train of thought. I'm going to upload the slideshow while I'm yakking to you. Oh, the premium episode. So if you go back to Stones Unturned, I'll get better buttons and stuff on here. Watch premium episodes. There will be a few. Madeleine McCann. That was my whole point. The reason that they pretend that Madeleine McCann is dead, is this still not working? This is still not working? It's okay. I will get this fixed. There's no reason for that not to be working. It's a thing. It's a thing. I know it's a thing. It connects to what's called the back end. I understand this. It's about authorization. So anyway, and I solved the Tylenol thing. Maybe. I just thought it was interesting. And look how it ties in. Well, look how it ties into John Bonet. Remember? No, you don't. So you'll get access to the slideshows. So the thing about Madeleine McCann was they pretend like she's dead because they don't want people looking for her. Because if they find her, it blows the whole thing. And at this point, and from everything I can see, she looks healthy and happy. Just had a very normal, as you could say, rest of her childhood and adolescence, and looks like she's off to college. And just look, she's got friends, nice family, blah, 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 blah. But it's her. It's no doubt it's her. But when people fake their own deaths, it's because they need to disappear, usually from organized crime. Now, the government cannot forge documents or give you a new identity. It's against the law. If you can come up with one on your own, they'll turn a blind eye. No, they won't, unless they have a good reason to turn a blind eye. But they won't give you one. Very rare instances did I ever come across birth certificates for people who weren't dead. Death certificate. Strike that, reverse it. I very rarely found death certificates for people who weren't dead. Very rarely. It's against the law. A few very high value people in the WPP, the actual WPP, I think they can handle like 6 of these a decade or something. They got new identities. But so with Craig Glassman, it's all the documentation that's supposed to make it look like he's dead, I now have. And thank you very much. But there's no death certificate. And Shayna has recently replied, she's not going to get one. So you can take that for what it's worth. It doesn't exist. I found him. I have his prison mugshot. He's wearing the same glasses. But that matters because of who was operating David Berkowitz. So now that we can prove I don't know how David could make this up. I just wonder if those detectives got the idea from me. And I wonder if they asked him that for my benefit or because they were curious. Because that interview is from 2024, and I don't like to take credit, and I don't want to embarrass anybody, and I would never even want them to admit it. But I wonder if they got the idea from me, because I know somebody watches this YouTube channel. So I was thinking, when we get the playback of the premiums, I need you to watch them. I'll get some more premium episodes uploaded. And then I need you to watch them so we can calculate how much this is actually going to cost, right? So, or get a rough estimate of how much it'll really cost. So I'll get that fixed, and then I'll get to this case in a minute. I need to do 2 things at once is what I need to do. And so, because Berkowitz was in the same type of outfit that Hal Snook was in, the guy who faked the Zodiac Killer letters. Right? There's this pattern of making people disappear through phony car accidents. There's a pattern of making people disappear through phony suicides. And there's a pattern of making people disappear through phony kidnappings. Those are the 3 ways. The kidnapping one is a high-risk venture because if word ever gets out in the public, that can be very embarrassing because there's nothing more obviously fake than a fake kidnapping. Now, these victims were not kidnapped. Well, you could technically say that they were kidnapped at Lake Berryessa. I think that David and Betty Lou were kidnapped. That hour of their life that's missing, hour and a half, is, I think when they left their friend's house and they were supposed to go to the concert and didn't show up. We'll come back to this, but when David and Betty Lou left their friend's house, there was somebody in the back floorboard of the car with a gun and made him go someplace because they were missing for about an hour and a half and nobody saw them. And there's only one way you can do that on planet Earth, and that is somebody knows where you are and they're keeping their mouth shut. So I think maybe they were kidnapped. Paul Stein, there's a good chance Paul Stein was kidnapped. The only couples who weren't kidnapped apparently were Mike and Darlene. And they weren't a couple. They were not a romantic couple. Mike had no shot with Darlene. Mike was not there to be with Darlene. That's not what he was doing there. And he wasn't there to be her bodyguard either. But he was getting... Mike got shot because he was supposed to get shot, and Darlene got double-crossed. That's what happened to Joanne Lamino. That's what happened to, these girls are setting their friends up to get shot, and then the girl gets shot by accident. But that's the risk they take. So the letters to the newspapers are extortion letters. They are fake, and they are intended to change the narrative to make these cases so-called unsolvable. Whenever you have an unsolvable homicide, that's a fake. It's fake. It's either they're pretending they don't know who did it, or the murder never happened in the first place. If they call it suicide, there's a very good chance it's fake. If it's a fake kidnapping, like John Bonet, that was a fake kidnapping that went horribly wrong. Not in the sense that it ended in murder. The murder happened first, then the fake kidnapping. The problem with the fake kidnapping is Patsy wasn't supposed to call 911. There's always something that goes wrong. And the thing that went wrong in the Nancy Guthrie case, for example, is nobody noticed the blood. That guy was so careful to tiptoe around the blood, and and go get the camera off the front of the house, and nobody noticed. Nobody noticed. He completely wasted his time and completely exposed himself. That's what I wanted to remember. One of the junior buckaroos, if she's been promoted, if she doesn't know it, she's being promoted on the air right now. I never mention names. People don't always want to be known, but long-time supporter, long-time booster. Mwah, she knows who she is. Mwah. There's a really cool thing about a wrist tattoo we're going to take a look at. And you don't kidnap toddlers or the elderly. There's all of that stuff. Now, Madeline, that's not what was going on, right? It's a phony kidnapping. That's why they don't want people to look for her. That's why they pretend she's dead. That's the point. They don't want people to look for her. That's why they pretend she's dead. They want people to stop looking for John Carr. That's why they pretend he's dead. I know what you're thinking. Where'd they get a phony corpse? Well, it just so happened that the apartment where they found the faux John Carr happened to belong. The guy who lived there was the supervisor at the emergency room at the hospital. A guy who had his hands, a guy who could put his hand on a random homeless corpse any given month of the winter in... Have you ever been to North Dakota in the wintertime? I've been to South Dakota in the wintertime. That's what I'm talking about. But there's always evidence that it's fake because they want the public to think it's real, but they want somebody to know it's fake. When you look at that picture of John Carr, we'll come back to this. Remember, he's doing the jazz hands? That's how you know it was a stiff they got from the morgue, because they had to fingerprint the stiff. His hand isn't like this because he shot himself. His hand is like this because he was already fingerprinted before they put the body in situ. That's why they took the picture. And that's why they leaked the picture, so that people could see that that was not John. People who needed to know that was not John Carr would know that was not John Carr. The guy who faked the Zodiac Killer letters, or at least one of them, Zodiac Killers, multiple killers, multiple letter writers. The guy who starts writing the letters, that was my point. He puts information in the letters to prove that these letters are hoaxes. He puts information in the letters to prove that they're a hoax, just in case he gets caught writing the letters. He doesn't accidentally write himself into the gas chamber, like the Manson family idiotically did. But the thing about all the evidence that was presented to the jury, it was all false. Susan Atkins' confession is 100% false. It's the Zodiac letters. He knows some things, and he knows some things that only a person with access to the files would know. And he also put some things in there that are not true, that only somebody with access to the files would know. So he can prove that these are a hoax. With Susan Atkins, everything that she thought everything that she confesses to and accuses people of, the Tate LaBianca killings, all of that was wrong. That was all fictionalized crap she got from the newspapers and TV. They published very little true information about that case. Bugliosi took the files home, and for 50 years nobody could see them, and somebody got a hold of them. And they tell a very different story. The actual case files in the Zodiac murders tell a very different story from the myth that you've been told. The actual case files and all this new information about Son of Sam, they tell a totally different story from the so-called Son of Sam, which comes back to letters. Extortionate type letters, threatening letters mailed to the media. The BTK killer did not write to the papers, right? He only wrote to that police lieutenant because he thought the police lieutenant could understand his frame of mind. He did not write to the media. You only write to the media when you want to change the narrative. What's funny about the Madeleine McCann case is it was not supposed to be a phony kidnapping. It was supposed to be a phony lost child. She supposedly let herself out the patio door and wandered off. They had to change it to a snatch case when Gerald McCann got caught lying. And he was the only one who lied, by the way. You know nothing about the disappearance of Madeleine McCann. So I'm going to put those videos on the premium website, and I will get that player fixed tonight. If it kills me. Okay, we got an audience. Let's take a look at the news. Let me do the thing. Let me do the thing. We got everybody here. Let me go do the thing and upload tonight's episode so you can watch the slides. I got to update this. No, I got to upload. Okay, a whole new one. Here we go. Mysterious death of Melissa Casias. The phony suicide. I'm telling you, you'll see the phony suicide. Poor Melissa. I'm not saying she's not dead. I'm saying it wasn't suicide. If this was suicide, I will eat Tom Boyd's credit report. You can quote me on that. Which is it? This one? No. Bear with me. And my eyes are burning. The pine tree pollen is late. It's been raining and now it's dried out. Now it's the last of the pollen. I will probably skip the part where you can add notes to this tonight, but you'll be able to test this out. My files. No. Where did it go? This one is uploaded. This doesn't have the slides that you need to see. There's this one. Oh, save to this PC. Okay, so here we go. You don't need to see this. Here we go. Upload. Okay, fine. At least I know where to find it. Because I'm going to add... No, I will let you annotate this one because... Well, let me do this. No, I won't. I'll do this public. Oh, so when we get it working, I will try a live stream, a totally private live stream. And when we do that, that will be the episode where I tell you everything about Manny's dad. That would be free. Manny can watch. That way Manny can watch it if he wants. He's entitled to watch it. He probably doesn't know half of what I'm going to show you. He jumped right back out of the woodwork. I did an episode and here he is. Fine. The first really private live stream on the new site will be the one about Manny's dad. And then the paywall will go up. So her remains were found in the desert. Melissa Casias, she was the one who worked at Los Alamos. She dropped her husband off at work. I guess they don't pay him anything. Then she said she forgot her ID badge. Remember that thing I told you weren't allowed to take home? I don't know why they were allowed to take those home. I know it's been 40 years and things change. But it's not real. It was my union card. What did I do with my union card? They don't let you take those home. Forgot it. And then that was it. She decided to work remotely. Well, there's no work remotely. My brother would complain. He was never specific. But my brother in the Army was intercontinental ballistic missiles for a while. Then he was promoted to surface to air missile. Well, and the first anti-ballistic missiles, and then they outlawed those by treaty. So he would complain about the complete and total lack of any semblance of security whatsoever. And he complained about the launch codes to the missiles. He never said what it was. I'm not going to tell you what it was. He never said what it was. I found out later what it was. It's stupid. It's so stupid. It was so stupid you would want all of your tax money back. She disappeared last year, the 26th of June of 2025. So it's been almost a year. Dropped him off, said she forgot her ID badge. Mark told her he was going to need the car by about 11. So they have one car. And they live in Taos. I'm bringing that up because of Cameron. Cameron had a clutch and Charlie went out there. Everywhere Cameron went, Charlie was sure to go. I'm not kidding. When Charlie got out in 67, Cameron would leave and Charlie would show up. And Cameron would leave and Charlie would show up. And Cameron would leave and Charlie would show up. She was living around the corner from Mary Brunner when Mary Brunner brought Charlie home to the Haight. And then Cameron took off for Mexico again. I'll have to look that up again. Everywhere Cameron went, Charlie was sure to go. The girl from Barker Ranch that joined the Manson family was the girl. It's in Spencer Kensaw's book. She was involved with Cameron and her little orgy crowd out at Barker Ranch. And when Cameron moved and went, where'd she go? I'll have to look. I'll show you. That's when Charlie showed up. I mean, literally. Well, she went to town and told Charlie that her grandmother had this ranch for rent. Yeah, she was the one. What was her name? She was like 14 when she knew Cameron. She was like 16 when she knew Charlie. She was the one that her grandmother owned there was the Barker Ranch and the other ranch, and they tried to, they're always looking for some way to make money because it's just a patch of sand, and there's a little spring there. That's why the Manson family wanted to move there. They were going to rent the ranch from what's-her-name's grandmother. Everywhere Cameron went, Charlie was sure to go. And one of the places Cameron went was Taos, and as soon as she left there, Charlie showed up. Charlie showed up at Taos and talked to some of Cameron's people. And I don't have to remind you, unless I do, that Cameron was married to Jack Parsons. Who was best friends with Fred Molina. Fred Molina? No, his son's name is Fred Molina. Who's married to Isabel Maxwell. What was my point? Melissa's boss called him to ask if she was okay. Mark said, yes, she should be at work, but Melissa's boss told him she wasn't present. Around 12:30 p.m., she picked up lunch for her daughter, Sierra, at a Subway and drove it to a cafe in Taos Plaza where Sierra worked. The two talked briefly. A cafe? She having Subway delivered and she works in the restaurant. The two talked, that's really good for sales. The two talked briefly between 12:50 and 12:57. Yeah, that's a... When two men talk briefly, they say, sup, nothing. Cool. That's briefly. From 12:50 to 12:57, we only talked briefly. Yes, this article was written by a woman. Sierra gave Melissa a check to drop off at the bank. Sierra said that Melissa was a little quiet, but overall seemed normal. Sierra attributed her mother's mood to her being busy with errands. I only have 7 minutes to talk. About, you just saw her a couple of hours ago, and then you talked to her on the phone when you got her lunch order, and then you talked to her again when you called her and said, I'm picking up your lunch and I'm on the way, and you probably were talking to her all the way to where she worked. What the fuck did you have left to talk about? We only spoke briefly, maybe 7, maybe 8 minutes. And they expect us to believe any of this. So around 1:30, Mark called the daughter Sierra. Were you in contact with Melissa? She said yes. Asked her if she could ask Melissa if she'll pick him up from work if he has to find a different ride. That's quite a marriage. I don't know if I have a ride home from work. I'll bet you credits the Navy Beans. I know what that 7-minute conversation was about. I'll bet it was about a man. Oh, it'd be funny if it wasn't all so tragic. I haven't seen photographs of any remains. Around 2:18, a family acquaintance observed Melissa walking eastbound on New Mexico State Highway 518 from the Talpa, New Mexico area towards Pot Creek, about 3 miles from the family home. Melissa was recorded by a security camera of a local business, Kit Carson Electric Company. She was wearing the same clothes she was last seen wearing, and it was difficult to tell if she was distressed. She had a backpack on, and Sierra believes that Melissa took a toothbrush, hair iron, and a few other personal items from the house. I'll bet you credits the Navy Bean. She knows exactly what she took. There's no way she... Melissa's family believes she got into a car. Okay. Believes she got into a car. Well, that's just a wild guess. Now, this is back at the time. At 2 p.m., so the father spoke to the daughter, Sierra, at 1:30. At 2 p.m., he started calling her, but she was busy. She's a waitress, can't pick up. Finally had a free moment at 2:30 p.m. She noticed a frantic voicemail from her father who told her that Melissa still hadn't called him. Sierra sent a message to Melissa, but the message wasn't delivered. So this is between 2:18 and 2:30. They notice she's not answering her phone. The last time she answered her phone See, it's just kind of funny that he couldn't call her back. She works at home. She noticed she forgot her ID badge. Her husband thought that was kind of weird. And I think it's kind of weird too. She got in. See, here's two different versions of the story. The 218 was walking eastbound towards Pot Creek. Recorded by a security camera of a local business, Kit Carson Electric Company, wearing the same clothes. Now, here's a story that said she had dropped her husband off at the lab. He works there too. You can't see any of this. That's because I need to put it on the website for you. The story, this reporter got this story about forgetting the badge from Jasmine McMillan, a niece. Stopped at the post office, dropped off lunch, returned home from work to find her mother gone. Wait, where did I see the thing? Said that she was last seen. She got in her car and drove away. Last seen on security surveillance video leaving the John Dunn shops in downtown Taos around 1 p.m. She got in her car and drove away. Remains found. A gun found near the remains. Women don't do that. Women use poison or drugs, or if they can't get those, maybe hanging. That's it. Or they might use a knife. Suicide is murder. It's murder of a self. A person will commit suicide using the exact same methods they would use to murder somebody else. Women don't murder people with guns unless it's like self-defense in a crazy situation. If it's murder, or you know what aside, it's poison, drugs, maybe hanging. Or if they use a knife, it's, you know what I'm saying. That's it. They don't shoot themselves. And the reason I'm bringing that up for a reason, because another one of these missing atomic rocket space scientists also supposedly shot herself. I would almost believe one. I'm not believing two. There's no way I'm believing two. There's just no way. There's just no way. So let me upload this, and we'll talk about these other people real quick. Okay. There are two of them? This isn't going to work. Amy Semple McPherson. The high-tech finger thing? Do not, under any circumstances, explain what you meant by the high-tech finger thing. Leave it to our imaginations. Did they really react that strongly? He's not dead. I found him. He was doing like 10 to 20 or something in the Hoosgow in Florida for trafficking cocaine. Catherine Gillies. That's right, Catherine Gillies. Never underestimate a woman. Never underestimate a woman. Never underestimate a woman. Oh, boy. Oh, you said a mouthful. Where was I? I'm trying to do this thing. I know what you're thinking. Why didn't he have this done before showtime? Okay. Oh, I know. I need to get the sharing link. Is it still open? Yes, I should be able to share it now. No. Shit. I can open this. Oh, you don't need to see that. Hold on. Share. Yes. That's all I need. All I need to do is share this and you can see it. Now, see if this works. Close that. Back to here. There I am. That's what I wanted. Oh, I gotta get the other. Shoot. I gotta get the embed link. OneDrive personal. That's wonderful. However, let me store this here. Maybe not. Okay, I need the embed link. I see. Which account owns this thing? Which account is it? It won't tell me what account it is. Okay, now I think I know. There we go. Yes, there it is. Refresh. Nope, not that one. There we go. Embed. There we go. There it is. And the other link goes there. Like that. And then, where is it here? In order for you to add your notes, I need to upload this really quick. So I need to download it really quick. What the hell's the problem? Oh. There we go. There we go. Open file location. Ah, file info. You're not watching this, right? Nope. File info. There it is. There it is. Now I do this. Wrong slideshow. I want this one. Imagine how exciting this will be when you start paying $10 a month for it. Should be easy enough to find. Ah, there we go. There we go, there we go, there we go, there we go. Because I can drag and drop. Right? Upload PowerPoint. I should be able to drag and drop. Why can't I drag and drop? Ah, does this work? It does work. Oh, that's interesting. That's interesting. Okay. Oh, for fuck's sake. I meet Bill Gates. I'm going to punch him right in the mouth. No, it is not. Stop saying that. It is not open in another fucking app. Okay, so it is. So what? It's no excuse. There it is. Ingesting. Okay, now let us look at it. So if you go, click that link in the chat or in the description of the video. I'll show you where to go to find this. Sign out. Oh, that's one problem right there. Hold on. Okay, so go to the website. It'll look like this. Click Continue with Google. Go to Super Slides. Look for A Mysterious Death of Melissa Casias. You can look at the others if you want. Open in Viewer, and you should be able to comment. If you want to view the Super Slides, it's actually supposed to say View PowerPoint Slides. Okay, it should be here. Where is it? Give me 1 second. I think that's the problem right there. I need the iframe. There we go. Do that. Oh. Sync the count. Save. Save. Nope. Save. That's weird. Oh, for fuck's sake. Somebody find Bill Gates and punch him in the mouth. Tell him it's from me. This is from the professor. Pow. Why will it not save this motherfucking link? Oh, maybe try this. It's not. Why won't it save that link? That's bizarre. Let me see if it will work. I'll get on with the episode if this doesn't work like right now. If it doesn't work right now, I'll get on with the episode. There, it's working. Okay. Let me go all through this again. Sign out. So if you go to the website, go to the new website. It's gorgeous. Go to Super Slides down here. Find Mysterious Death of Melissa Casias. Open in Viewer. And you can either just watch the slideshow, and you can make this full screen if you want, or you can click comment and link slides, and it opens up in a smaller player. And then what you have to do is, if you want to leave a note on a particular slide, you don't have to be this careful, but if you want to, like if I'm on slide 4 and you something interesting, hit this next to get slide 4. Okay, try to keep them together. It's not that, but unless you think there's something real specific, you can add tags, and these are smart tags. Like, don't tag it with something like Madeline McCann. Put that in why this is interesting. Tag it with something like phony death or fake death. They're supposed to be smart tags. Fake death. These are supposed to be smart tags. Fuzzy tags. See what I'm saying? And then if you want to add a comment, you can either add data, like they found her body or so-and-so found the body, or you can, why this slide is interesting, okay? Looks like the same kind of phony suicide, maybe, as, what was her name? The other scientist. Okay, don't need this one open at all. Phony suicide of the girl in Alabama. Maybe it's this one right here. Melissa or Amy Eskridge. Okay. Now you can make this with your name or anonymous. You can post your comment on the super slide. So what we have in a super slide is there's a PowerPoint slide. It may be a Google slide. It might be something else. It's embedded in a super slide. The way I put video clips and pictures in a slideshow, that whole slideshow is now embedded in a Stones Unturned super slide. You're going to help me annotate this stuff as much as you want. You don't have to do it, but do much as you want. Don't worry about being wrong or crazy. So you can make that comment public. You can make it to me only, and if I like it, I'll add it to the database. You can make it totally private, and that's just your research you're doing, and you don't want to share that with other people, at least not at this time. Okay, I'm going to make mine public so people can see it with my name on it. So post comment. What am I missing? Oh, my name. Okay, the professor. Oh, then it shows up in a button. See, you type so post is either the professor or anonymous. That's pretty cool. I didn't even know it did that. Did you see that? I could change my name to Tom, and it changes the name on the button. I'm too lazy to type the professor. How about professor? Post comment. See? And you can do that for me. And if you find a link to an article or a video or a picture, you can't upload stuff, but you can please put in a caption, and you can paste the link to the photo or video or website or whatever. I'll make sure that you can do anything. Maybe the links to websites go in the notes. Okay? And you can help me do that. And I've got about 350 PowerPoints to upload. And I got to add the little window where you can see all the text I already have. Sometimes there'll be a copy of an old newspaper article. The whole full text will be in there, and you can read it for yourself. That data is getting uploaded. It's not displaying on this view yet. Okay? While we're here, let me try watching a premium video again. It's just stuck on sign in. Yeah, I know what's causing that. I thought it was fixed, but it's not. Okay. Now, while I'm doing this, you can follow along on the slideshow. This is the slideshow I'm using. If you see me update a slide or whatever, you would have to close it and reopen it, and it'll refresh. It's supposed to get now. Real soon, there's going to be a feature where you can link slides together either from within a slideshow, super slides. You'll be able to link super slides together, and you can start to like put this super slide in my slideshow. You can create your own slideshows of super slides, and then you can post those, and people can comment on those. Okay, so there's going to be more inputs that you can put in the next few days. And you can use it for your own research. And I'll be putting up some old, very rare documentaries and things that you can see. And I'll be posting old documents. Things like that. Now, this is intriguing us because there are two clusters of these cases, missing or dead scientists or engineers. Okay? There are two clusters. They are either, I think 4 of them are involved in not atomic research like building bombs. They know how to build bombs. This is all to do with how to handle the materials safely. I think she was directly involved in that. It's all about material handling. It's all about air quality, environmental management. Why was my microphone muted? How long has it been muted? How long was my microphone muted? Fred Gwynn rented a room from Jack Parsons? How did I accidentally click that? How long was it? Hi, Nathan. How long was it? You can't even see me there. 15 minutes? That's not so bad. You didn't miss shit. Let me go through it again. It was free. What do you want? Although some of you were paying for this episode. The whole point is get logged into the website and I'll start getting more and more stuff uploaded and I'll get that video thing working so we can see it. But we will do the first live stream I'll do totally private. Will be public. Or you got to sign up. And I'll show you about Manny's dad. Into the Missing Scientists. We'll go through this again. You guys know more about this than I do. It's just that, let me go one more time, really quick. She supposedly, women don't go out in the desert to do it. I'm not going to go back on that kick. You don't need to know that stuff anyway. Women don't do this. And then there's this other woman, this young woman in Alabama supposedly did it, and I know that didn't happen. No way, 2 of them did. This guy supposedly did it right in front of a bunch of cops. There's no body cam footage, no talk of body cam footage, none of that stuff. Matthew James Sullivan was studying UFOs. He was going to testify before Congress. A cocktail of 3 anti-anxiety drugs and alcohol, the cause of death. Fighter pilot, just like Savannah's brother, Cameron. Cameron's a very common name for Scottish families. Fighter pilot, just like Cameron. Not as old as Cameron. Younger than Cameron. Operation Enduring Freedom. Skilled culinarian, just like Savannah's suspect-in-law. If he's dead. Stephen Garcia. Okay, so one more time. What we have is, you can't see this. It doesn't matter. You're supposed to look at the slideshow on the website. You're not supposed to be looking at it on here. You didn't see anything. It's all text. Stephen Garcia. One more time. These are either nuclear scientists or they are space war people. When I say nuclear scientists, they're not designing bombs. They're maintaining nuclear facilities, maintaining cleanliness in nuclear facilities, maintaining the environment in facilities. And apparently, Charles Guthrie, Savannah's father, had something to do with the company that manufactured. So a lot of these had problems with their failing tests. A lot of these people were directly involved in labs that had failed crucial environmental tests. So that's why they're kind of clustered together. They're either involved in nuclear laboratory environment, or they're involved in, not just rockets. It's not just space telescopes, but it's tracking targets in space as opposed to tracking them on the Earth. It's about lasers. It's about weaponizing asteroids. If you can deflect an asteroid away from Earth, you can deflect an asteroid towards Earth, and apparently it's really cheap. Or you can deflect an asteroid to strike a base that the Russians built on the moon or the Americans built on the moon. That's what these people are all involved in, those 2 clusters. You would need people who know about nuclear power, and you would need people who know about fighting space wars. if you're going to put them on the moon, for example. Not that they're going to put these people are too old to go to the moon, but they're going to use them to train people to go to the moon, probably. Somebody has to handle all that nuclear material in Iran, and they have to know how to go into those places. Those doors are sealed. It isn't just... Did I already go over this? Well, baby bull, women don't go out in the middle of the desert to do it. Women do it at home. When Sylvia Plath did it, her kids were asleep in the next room. She could have blown up the whole apartment building with her kids in it, let alone killed her kids with her. And she'd been trying to do that since she was a kid. She was a kid, she was trying to kill herself. When she finally did it, her kids were asleep in the next room. She didn't walk out in the middle of the desert. Men do that. Women do it at home. How to keep a lab clean, how to monitor it. This all ties in very directly to, and see, this goes right back to Oswald. He worked at Minsk Radio, and he was a machinist in their experimental lab. That meant he worked with beryllium, and that's why he showed symptoms of beryllium poisoning when he came back. So these cases seem to be linked, and it seemed to be a bunch of phony. I haven't seen pictures of a body. I haven't seen pictures of a crime scene. I don't think these people are dead. I just wondered if... Well, we'll talk about that later. So has anybody been able to see the website? Have you tried it? Can you see the slideshow? Is it working for you? Yeah, this is when it says pending sync. You can look at the slideshows, but you can't comment on them yet. The two that you can comment on, you can see these. So I think you've seen this. You're not looking at it now. I think you've seen this. That seems to be working. Okay, good. Well, I'll keep working on the site too, and then when we use up all our free tokens, then I'll have to start charging. But you can go ahead and start commenting away. Don't worry about being wrong or doing it wrong. And I will have tutorials made that show you. There'll also be slideshows. How far behind is the lag on this stream? How about that? Exactly, baby bull. Why leave it? Why leave all that stuff? Yeah, and they all did it exactly the same way. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's probably enough of my meanderings for tonight. Thank you all very much for your kind attention. Eventually, I'll be doing episodes based on the super slides, and you can start making your own super slides to put together your own slideshows. So, I mean, I could put this here. It's just always in the way. You know what I mean? And then you guys have to look at it. So good night. God bless. Thank you very much. Take care of yourselves and each other, and please keep watching the skis. I'm Professor Thomas Henry Horan, asking you to please stay plugged in to the Stones Unturned podcast.
He reads everything.
Well, he tries to.